Welcome back. Hi,
Hey,
Tezzo.
hey,
Welcome back.
I missed y'all.
We missed you more. Not just me and Mel, but the gems and the gents. We've missed the Phoenix so much.
I
How are
felt it,
you?
y'all. I felt
Did you?
it. I have been taking every day 1 hour at a time, and
Yeah.
I thank all of the community who has reached out through messages, DMs, calls. Like I have felt the love, the comfort, and the support of our community, and so I thank everyone for giving me the grace and space to mourn in this season that I'm in right now. But I'm here
Wow.
today. It's
Yes.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Well, we are so glad that you're back. And of course, we've been giving you your space, but sending love and prayers of comfort to you and the family. This you being here tonight is a perfect example of what we're going to be discussing in tonight's topic. And
Yeah.
I just want you to know that if you needed tonight off too, you could have taken it, but I'm really glad you're back. I'm glad you're here. And I wish I was closer to just wrap my arms around you. But yes, you have the floor tonight. This is your
I
time.
have the listen.
Yes.
This is an episode that has been in the making since I want to say the end of January, the beginning of February. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to the Hustle and Shine podcast, and welcome to the episode entitled "Why Are We Like That?" I bet y'all want to know what we're talking about, right? Well, this is the last Wednesday of Women's History Month, and of course, I am talking about women, but particularly women of color, and why
Mhm.
we are the way that we are. In tonight's episode, we're going to be briefly discussing and unpacking the motivation, stereotypes, and wellness of women of color. Yes, I'm reading my notes, but the important question, and y'all will get ready to dive into this. Listen to me. How is it possible for one demographic of people to be simultaneously over and underrepresented at the same time in this country?
Mhm.
So we're
Mhm.
going to be talking about um, grind culture and how women of color, particularly Black women, um, chase the accolades. Why do we do that? The degrees, the promotions, shattering glass ceilings. Why do we do that? We're
Mhm.
going to be discussing two two. We're too loud. We're too bold. We're too brash. We're too aggressive. We're put two in front of any low vibrational or negative word, and that is exactly how people see Black women. And then
Mhm.
finally, after dealing with all of that grind, dealing with the burden of carrying what it feels to represent an entire people, we're going to be talking about mind, body, and soul, and the rest that we deserve. So I'm just saying, like this episode has been in the making, like I said, since the middle of January, the beginning of February, when we knew we were going to be discussing topics honoring Women's History Month. And I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, we got to talk about women and why it is that we are the way that we are. But before we go into all of that, I want to say, y'all know what y'all supposed to be doing right now, right?
Y'all know. Y'all know.
Y'all need to be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and tagging a friend, telling somebody who needs to get up in here. If you're watching this episode right now, that means you know you are a Black woman, maybe, possibly, or you know a Black woman, maybe, possibly, or maybe
Right.
you know somebody who knows a Black woman, maybe, possibly. They need to come in here and join this conversation because
Absolutely.
we want to dive into this from all different lenses, all different perspectives, and we can't do that with just two Black women that's sitting right here, you know.
Nope. Nope. We need more.
We talk like this all the time. This ain't nothing to us. We want to hear what you have to say. So
This
yeah,
is
you
not
know what you have to do.
right. This is definitely nothing new for us. And listen, and one thing I wanted to add to that beautiful intro. Okay. Thank you for telling the people what we're going to be doing, what they're going to be hearing. There is enough platforms and enough media outlets talking about Jonathan and Megan, talking about Jess Hilarious and whoever the hell that other girl is. I don't even know who she is. Talking about Tiana and her divorce and settlement. Like, okay, it's enough of that. Y'all consume that all week and all day. Come in here for this positive content. Come in here and get some understanding of why you are the way you are. Come in here. Okay. So y'all take a minute. Go tell your friends, tell your girlfriends, girl, you don't need to read nothing else about what's going on. That stuff is done to death. We've talked about it enough. Let's go hear something different. Okay. Come on in and get in on this conversation. As always, we want to see you in the comments. Drop your comments. You may say something or may ask a question that's extremely insightful or may provoke a thought or provoke a deeper discussion. We would love you to contribute in that way. You inviting people is how we grow. We want authentic growth. We ain't out here paying for followers. Okay. We ain't out here paying for followers. We don't do that. We'll stay humble until our door opens, but you can help us open that door by bringing people here. If you appreciate the content on the platform, you appreciate the work that we put into meaningful dialogue and discussion, go ahead and just tell somebody. Say, listen, you ain't got to come, but I do need to invite you because that's what the Queen Pen and the Phoenix asked me to do. All right. So y'all go do that. And the Phoenix is going to jump right into our first topic. It's going to be a good conversation.
All right. So here we go. Degrees drive and defying the odds. Did you know? I bet y'all know, right? Right. Raise your hand if you know what the number one demographic of educated people in the United States are. Wait, hold on, wait.
Aww.
I got
So
flowers and
sweet.
wine.
Oh, that's so sweet, cousin. Thank you. Shout out to good men. Shout out to good men. That's so
Yeah,
sweet.
the number one demographic of educated people in the United States is
Black women.
Black women. We did that, right?
We
But
did
yes,
that.
so
Yeah.
why? What is the reason behind that? And we all know the age old adage of like, we got to work twice as hard just to get half as far. I just had a conversation with my sister because she once upon a time worked in human resources and was a what do you call it an executive assistant for the CEO of her company and everything like that. And we were talking about the dollar. Yesterday was equal pay day. That's why we were having this conversation. Yesterday was equal pay day.
Mm-hmm.
For every $1 that a cisgender white male earns,
Mm.
a black male earns, I believe it's like 80 to 87 cents, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
A white woman earns like 70 something cents, and a black woman earns like 60 something cents.
Mm.
So we earn essentially 40% less
Yep.
than our white our white male counterparts.
Yep.
So for me, I believe the drive behind chasing the degrees and the accolades is we we only are welcomed into the rooms and those tables or at those
Mm-hmm.
tables when some institution said we're
Mm-hmm.
qualified to participate in that conversation,
Right.
right?
Right.
So here we come through with our MBAs and all of these other degrees, and we're earning 60 to 70 cent on the dollar for a white man who barely got a C and a bachelor's, right?
Right.
You smiling because you got some of those accolades behind your name. You've been in the boardrooms and in the meeting rooms with the gentleman that I'm describing. And so
Yep.
I just wanna know the fuel behind the hustle. That's my perspective. But you come on through with yours.
Yeah, okay. So speaking from experience, I always like to start with experiential, perspective and advice. Speaking from experience, my pursuit of education and degrees really didn't become about my career objective or my career ambitions until much later. Early in life, it was the narrative that I was told by guidance counselors and educators and teachers that without a degree, you'll go nowhere in life. You will work at McDonald's or in retail at the entry level or the early career level your whole life if you don't have a degree, right? And so that produced fear. I was afraid to remain at the poverty line that I grew up at. I was afraid to remain, in the minority in terms of wealth and economic status, all those things. It was really motivated by fear. I was like, I have
Mm-hmm.
to do this, or I'm going to be government subsidy dependent, like my a lot of my family members. I just didn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I went to school and like really pushed myself. Um, but once I got that degree and I saw that it started to open doors for me, not realizing it had nothing to do with the degree, but more so to do with me operating in my greatness because of the validation the degrees gave me. And I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Like a lot of the things that I do or have done in my career are things that I have naturally, are things that are God given. It had nothing to do with what I learned in the classroom or what I learned online through e-learning. So I was thinking it was the degrees because I wasn't self-aware. I didn't know myself yet. So I was like, ooh, if all of these opportunities are coming because I have this piece of paper, let me get another one. And so I pursued more and I pursued more. It wasn't until, obviously having evolved into a woman from a young lady that I recognize a lot of this doesn't define me. It doesn't validate or invalidate my worth if I have or don't have it. But I do recognize that Black women often have to prove themselves that we're worthy to be in the room or to have a seat at the table. And the last thing that I'm going to say as an example before I pass it back to you, Phoenix, I was working for a tech company, not my most recent one, but the one before that. And they often would bring consultants in to consult on special program, rollout or to launch a global initiative. And so they brought this Black lady in, phenomenal Black woman, like, oh my gosh, so talented, so gifted, credentialed, respected in her industry. Um, the Black women in the room immediately began to critique her attire, her hair, the way she carried herself. She talked white to them. So they began to really tear her down without her hearing it. Whereas my white counterparts were questioning, is she qualified? Where did she study? Who does she know? What organizations does she belong to? And so I sat there in the middle, like, us having the degrees and us having the credentials and us having the experience doesn't seem to be good enough for either side. Like that was the moment where I was like, it doesn't matter how much this woman knows, how much she's bringing to the table, how much she drives the conversation. No one in this room is ready to respect her. The Black women didn't want to respect her because they didn't like the way she looked. They didn't like the way she dressed. They thought her lace front it wasn't glued down good enough. And then the white women felt like she wasn't qualified. It doesn't matter how much she knew. We weren't going to listen to nothing she had to say. And in that moment, I realized there is nothing I can earn, achieve that will ever make me good enough for people who just don't respect that I'm good enough. And that's when I said, I'm over with being a professional student. I'm not going to go back to school unless it's meaningful and necessary and necessity for what I want to do. But it helped me to heal from that insatiable desire to just get more so that people will accept me, because it's not going to happen. It's just not. So yeah, that's my contribution to that. And it's I don't know, it's a catch 22, honestly. I don't
No,
know.
I hear you. I hear you on that. And for those who are watching, it looks like I'm a little bit distracted. That's because I'm still inviting people to join us in the podcast. So I'm still texting and forwarding the link and all that other stuff. But I heard everything you said.
Yeah.
And to sum up the first part of what you said about why it was breaking the generational curses, right? You
Yep.
were told by people who you respected as the
Yep.
ones who were supposed to help guide your path, in your future, in your education, telling you if you didn't go to school and you didn't chase these degrees or you didn't get these degrees, then you weren't going to be anything more than this. And so right then and there, they used a tactic that instilled fear in you that, like, if I don't do this, then I'm going to be stuck in a situation that um is not what I want to be in, right? We wanted more than the struggle that we grew up in, that we saw our parents in, and everything like that. And one of the things that I actually have to say about that is I get a little turned off by guidance counselors or people who support in youth development when they only push the narrative of chasing a degree or getting a degree. Because not for nothing, there are people out there who go to trade schools, who go and get apprenticeships and stuff like that that earn buco bucks. Like
Yep.
there are carpenters and electricians and plumbers out there who are earning six-figure salaries annually, and they don't owe Uncle Sam and I was getting ready to say, is it Fannie Mae or Sally Mae? Whoever it
Whoever.
they don't owe them for these degrees and licenses and stuff like that. And me being the nerd that I am, and the fact that in my downtime I love to watch documentaries, the fact that we actually even have to pay for education is clearly because Black people wanted it in the first place. Because up until sure, like there were little tuitions where you'd send the kids off to finishing school, boarding school, or whatever, but for the most part, education was public, and if you could afford to have your kid go to school, which afford didn't mean necessarily paying thousands of dollars for the education, it meant you could afford to send them because you didn't need them to work the farm or go to work in order to help the family sustain the farm. That's what affording an education was. And that's one of the things that also pushed me to pursue my first degree, was that I did not want to be a stereotype. I didn't want to be just listed as, high school graduate. And I am considered in my family a first generation college graduate. My uncle, my mom's brother, did go to college, but he didn't go to college straight out of high school. So even that, it was like, we've got to do better and make better decisions. And for a lot of people, the better decision is, okay, you're going to go get an education because it was something that they told you couldn't have. There was a period and point in time where they said, Black people, you cannot be educated. Even at post-slavery, you could not be educated because education causes fear in the people who oppress us. Which is why they eliminated the Department of Education. But I'm just going to sip my water and see what's happening in the comments.
I wasn't even gonna go there because I promised Mel last episode that I was going to do better at separating political commentary when we trying to empower. Because, honey, me and Mr. Musk, yeah. So no, let's see who's in the comments. Shall we? Okay. So first off, I want to mention, unfortunately, the StreamYard is not allowing us to live stream from Facebook tonight for whatever reason. I think the link expired. So I am going to share the link on Facebook. Y'all make sure y'all go to Facebook and share the link again and tell people that we are on YouTube only tonight and on Instagram live tonight. Yes, Jessica says we need she says we need another episode just to talk about the Department of Education and do. Okay. Oh, I have so many things to say. I have so much. Yep. But shout out to Samina who's with us. Hola, Titi. That's my Titi, y'all, from Houston. And then VLW. I'm not sure who you are, but welcome. Is that Vicky?
I believe that's Victoria going under Daddy Initiative. Because I'm calling you Cuzzo.
That's your sister. Yeah.
That's my sister. Listen, we got to do this. But yeah, we could definitely discuss that. We could definitely do a whole series on education. And so when we volunteer, some of you educators who are in the group, don't be getting on camera shy on us neither.
No, in real life, because I definitely want to have some educators on. I want to know their opinions. Obviously, I don't want to get anyone in hot water and in trouble if they can't make certain comments or say certain things, because you know how it can be. You can't speak
Mhm.
against the powers that be and expect to still have a job in the morning. So we definitely want to be mindful if there's any sensitive topics that they cannot touch on. But if you are interested, if you are an educator, whether it's at, what's the what do we call the adolescents? What we call their schooling? Whether you at that level or you at the collegiate level.
Elementary, middle school, high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, my brain not working tonight. But yes, if you would be interested in coming in or coming on and speaking on that topic, we would love to have you because we're going to do an episode on that. Indeed we are. Okay, we really, really are. But I just shared the link to my Facebook so that
I
you
do
all
too.
can invite people. Because I don't know, Facebook said no, thank you. Facebook was like, we don't want to see y'all tonight. We're good. We're good on y'all.
Listen, delayed, not denied, and that's what was happening with this episode. We had the first week where we had to pause, because life was life, and
Mhm.
none of us were going to be able to make it. And then week 2 and 3, I went into deep, deep grief and mourning. So I wasn't able to show up. And for some reason, because it was there, I did not take into consideration that the links to stream would have
Expired.
expired. Look at y'all having a Tiffany epiphany with me on
That's all right. We're learning. We're learning the
producing this
platform.
show. Oh, we
But they
love
can help
those.
us. They can help us out by inviting people. They can go ahead and let people know that we are only on YouTube and Instagram tonight. Go ahead and tag folks on the YouTube. I mean, on the Facebook post that I just posted, and invite them to join us. All right, Cuzzo. So are you ready for topic 2, or you got more to say on this first topic? Where we at?
I'm ready. I'm ready for topic 2, which is two. I didn't even intentionally do it that way, but two. Too
2.
loud, too bold, too much, or just right. How many of you have heard that? Oh, she too loud. She too angry. She too aggressive. How is it that if a man, whether he be black, white, purple, or orange, gets up and speaks his piece of mind
Mm-hmm.
and may yell or be passionate or aggressive about it, that's what's seen. Oh, he's passionate about this. He really
Mm-hmm.
cares.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, it's still, if that same thing is said and done by a woman, oh, she's so emotional. She's too aggressive. She's too. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
too through with hearing too when it comes down to classifying all women of color as
Right.
two, just based on the overrepresentation of some of these stereotypes
Mm-hmm.
in the public. Whether
Yep.
that's showing up on reality TV, throwing drinks, tossing tables, snatching wigs,
Mm-hmm.
being the over sexualization of our bodies and what it is we should and shouldn't wear or what we sing or perform about. Everything is just too, and I'm just too sick of hearing about it
Yeah.
because how?
How?
How is
Right.
that? How how did we go from literally being seen as just the mammies and the what was the term you used in our free session when you were talking about we were popping out the babies without even giving time for the breeding machines?
The breeding machines. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's all they still see us as. And then
Yes.
and then even if we are too loud, too angry, too aggressive about it, did we not earn the right to be?
That part. That part. And oftentimes, someone's opinion of a black woman in particular being too much is really a reflection of them. It is not pointing out a flaw in us. Sadly, my entire life I've been told I'm too New York. I'm too assertive. I'm too loud. I wear too much colorful clothes. Y'all see me today? Okay, I love color. I'm sorry. I am always told that I'm too much of something. And sadly for me, it hasn't just been from, those I've interacted with outside of my sphere of influence. It's been people I know, people I've grown up with, people that I've called friend have told me I am too much of something. And when I finally embraced the fact that that had more to do with them and their inability to handle all that I am, that I stopped letting it bother me. And I remember this quote. I don't remember who it's from, but I want to give proper credit. I guess I can search for it after the show, but I saved it in my phone as a reminder to myself when I hear, Natima, you're too much of something. She said that when people tell you you're too much, despite how hurtful and invalidating it can feel, empower yourself with this thought. Their inability to handle your too much is a reflection of them and not you. You make them uncomfortable in their mediocrity. And so they then try to tell you there's something wrong with you when really it's something that lacks in them. Right. And so I kept that in my phone because that is exactly what I needed to remind myself. If you're telling me I'm too much of something, that just simply means you recognize you lack it. You don't have enough of it, or you don't have it at all. You don't have it in you at all. And I'm not going to turn down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to turn down. What is turn down for what? I'm not going to turn down any of my too much to make you feel more comfortable or for you to be able to wrap your arms around. The thing is, when people say that you're too much, they're simply confessing, I can't contain you.
Or keep up.
I cannot contain you. I cannot control you. I cannot keep up with you. I am not adequate competition for you. So my goal is to dismantle you by telling you you're too much in hopes that you will dim your light or that you will, you know what I'm saying, shrink who you are and not show up as big so that I feel more comfortable. And to people like that, y'all lucky I don't curse no more. Because I have some choice, colorful words to match this top tonight to let you know what you can do with that opinion. Because it bothers me that even young girls, I have to constantly reassure and validate my daughters. Like, you, yes, I know that your personality is boisterous and loud. I know that you have big personality. You get it from your mama. But I would never dare tell you to calm down or, you know, to refrain. Now there are times and places for everything. You can't be full of Maya in class, but on the playground, be a Maya plus tax. You get what I'm saying? Like, you may not be able to do it while you're learning, but you better go ahead and let yourself be free and liberated when you get outside. And so it's really more so teaching my daughters when it's appropriate to show up big, but never to shrink. Just because I'm saying, hey, don't be as big in those settings doesn't mean I'm telling you to shrink. I'm simply saying save some of that, preserve a little bit of that for the atmospheres that can handle it. But that's my take on too much. Some of y'all are nope.
Some of y'all are too weak. some of y'all are too.
We ain't gonna do that tonight. We want some.
I still season my language with curse words, but I'm not tonight. What I will say is one of the things that I've been told, and I have literally laughed at it, is that I could be too intimidating. I'm like, intimidating? What the hell is intimidating about me? On a good day, I'm 5 feet 3 inches tall, right? On a good day, I have a raspy voice, but it's not a deep, like, bellowing voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about me is intimidating?
Mm-hmm.
And what I've discovered that what about me is intimidating is not a physical attribute. That's something that people can see, touch, feel, whatever it is. It is the innerness of me that just busts onto the scene as soon as I come in. Yep. And there are some people who can only take small doses of me, but that's not my problem.
Yep.
Right? There's a saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? Like, if you look at this whole giant elephant, you're gonna be like, oh, ain't no way in the world. My mouth can't open wide. Nobody said open up wide enough to try and take me all in at one time. And the fact of the matter is, that's okay. Who I am, my energy, and how I show up just may not be for you.
Right.
And that's okay.
And
that's okay for you, and that's okay for me.
Yeah.
But now that I know how you feel,
Mhm.
we can now move in accordance, right?
Right.
And that
Right.
doesn't mean that I'm going to dim down, mute, or become demure. No, that just means that when you move in a certain way, or
Mhm.
your face speaks louder than your words, I'm not to take that personal. Because
Right.
what's happening, because what you're doing when, or what the other person is doing when they're making faces or talking under their breath, is that's them processing me. And that's not my problem. That's
Right.
what it is, right?
Right.
When I am eating what's on my plate, the number of times I gotta chew before I swallow is about me, not the waiter.
That part.
So,
That part.
you know, and what I will say about people such as myself or the Queen Pin or anybody who you might encounter in your life who you may deem two, right?
Mhm.
Or and it doesn't even have to be low vibration. You could be like, I love that about them. I love their big bold energy. I love how they come in a room and command the attention and do all those things.
Right.
What you need to look out for with people like that, and this is going to help segue us into our third topic, is when they're quiet, is
Mhm.
when they are soft, when they are refrained. Because that's usually a point in time in which they're internalizing something, they're going through something, and they don't have the energy to come through as themselves.
Right.
So I just want to put that out there. But in the meanwhile, do you B2? We might put that on the shirt because
B2. That's good.
B2, just
That's good.
B2, be all of it.
But one thing I definitely wanted to add before we move on about those of us who constantly or who have constantly heard our whole lives, you're too much, you're too. The one thing I recognize about the same people that told me I'm too loud, I'm too New York, I'm too bold, I'm too colorful, they never tell me that I'm too forgiving or I'm too helpful.
Because you know things too, right? Matter of
They
fact,
don't
with the,
mind when I show up too much in the areas of doing for them or giving to them.
mm,
That is never too much for them. But it's when I get to be myself that becomes too much. When I'm serving them and doing for them and giving to them and catering and servicing, oh, I'm never too much. But the minute it's about me and me embracing who I am and showing up as my authentic self and using my voice and allowing, allowing to step into the spaces that have made room for me, now I'm too much.
mm-hmm.
But I've never been too patient. I've never been considered too understanding. And so that's why, like you said, that's why I think this second topic is so critical, because so many of us, we show up as ourselves and we're told it's too much. But then we try to show up in other areas. We try to show up too understanding and too giving, hoping that that'll make people accept us. If they can't accept the too loud you, the too bold you, the too audacious you, they should not get the too forgiving you, the too understand. No, don't give them double portions of nothing if you can't show up as yourself in double portion. If you can't show up in the magnitude and at the level that you are, don't show up in those other areas that way either. Completely withdraw that. So that's what I
Yep.
wanted to give, because again, that was my life lesson. Like, okay, I'm too much for you. That means that I am no longer going to overextend myself in any other way either. Because if
Right.
you don't appreciate that, you shouldn't appreciate the rest of it. So yeah, I hope that helps somebody.
I hope it helps because what I heard you say is you wanted me to fall back, right? I'm about to be in the Matrix, baby.
Nia,
One of the
okay, falling back.
one of the things that I want to address before we move away from this topic, though, is you and I both as little girls were told we were two something, right? And I'm sure that there will be somebody who listens to this episode or watches this playback and they'll be reminded of they were told the same thing.
Mhm.
And I want to ask you, did you realize that that was probably the point in time where you lost your voice and your ability to speak up for yourself and you probably became a people pleaser, right? as you were just saying, right? Because I'm two, my innate nature is to do the most, right? To be the most helpful, right? To be the person. I'm the type of person that if you tell me an event starts at 7 o'clock, my behind will be there at 7:15, right? Because I want to try and be a little bit what's supposed to be casually late, social, whatever it is, fashionably late, right? But when it comes to our people, if you got an event that starts at 7 o'clock and you show up at 7:15, they still setting up the decorations. Please forgive us because y'all done that. Y'all come to some of our events and please just charge that to the game and not our hearts because we don't like that, right? We try and be the type of people where we say if the event starts at 7, we trying to finish six setup by 6:30 so that when you walk in, but sometimes that don't happen.
Right.
But I digress. The point of the matter is, I've been the type of person to show up at 7:15, see the event getting set up, and I'm like, okay,
What can I
what
help
can I
with?
do to help? But then I'm still the same person who, when the event is over, I'm helping to bust down the tables and clear up the trash and all that other stuff, right?
Yep.
And I do that because I'm a good natured person. Like this is what I am. But I also realized that that became a a a sign of people pleasing, of looking for some type of validation or appreciation for my existence in this space. And then feeling, even though nobody asked me to set up or bust down or whatever it is, feeling taken advantage of because I didn't get a recognition of thanks or whatever it is. And then sitting in my own head mulling around this whole conversation, two sides of a conversation that I'm having because I done did something that I might not have wanted to do because I'm two, right? Losing
Right.
your voice. So if you have a little person or a young person in your life who is just two, support that, right? Because as soon as you start criticizing them for it or picking them apart for it, you're picking apart who they are as an individual. And it will take them years of therapy and counseling and so before they realized that they were never two. They were just right all along. It was
Yep.
you who had the problem.
Yep.
So,
Yep. That's good. That is so good. So my internet, we're getting a wind. Have y'all been getting the crazy wind? Like the is
mm,
about the crack the sky wind?
we had some crazy wind like last week or whatever, but I saw a clip today where a tornado or something came through the people yard right after they brought their dog in from the dog house. And when I tell you it snatched up the dog house, the shed and everything, fire would have been in the tornado like Toto. Like, thank God they came and got that dog. But yeah, I noticed that you was glitching a little bit, so the internet is messing with you.
Is yes. So go ahead and move into the next topic. Hopefully this wind will relax and then I can get back to some
Okay.
stability.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're moving into the last segment that we have for this evening, which is mind, body, and soul, the wellness we deserve. And this, we got to get into this, right? We got to get into the stigma behind why it is only recently people have started embracing their wellness, um, as many of the diamonds are, and people in the TGI family are. We are embracing our soft season.
Mhm.
We are being we want to be handled delicately, handled with the care and the precision of something of value. That
Yes.
we're not rag dolls. We ain't about getting tossed around. We China dolls. We want to be handled and put gently on the shelf like the Fabergé egg, right?
Mhm. That's a
But
show,
a
by the
lot
way.
of
That's an upcoming
yeah.
show, by the way. Rag
Oh,
dolls versus China dolls.
oh, it ain't even been in the planning meeting in 3 weeks. Like that's because we here. But yeah, so I said, talking about therapy being the strong one. Once again, I am in a deep season of mourning right now. Gonna try and control the waterworks. Last week, I lost my twin, my brother Mark. He and I have different biological mothers. However, God saw it fit to give us the same face, just the male and the female version of it, right? put a burly goatee on me and beard on it, I look like him. Shave my head, like it just. And I lost my twin, right? And I feel like everybody in the community is telling me to rest. Y'all know me, y'all follow me. My hashtag restore, rise, and reign, right? You gotta reset, but I still feel like I'm not doing enough. I gotta keep busy, you know. Not being on podcasts for the past couple of weeks had me feeling like, oh my God, I owe Natima and Mel an explanation for why I'm not here. And they looking at me like, girl, you ain't you we would look at you like, why are you here?
Right.
Right?
Right.
There's this insatiable need in me to do more, to keep giving to other people, and not necessarily listening to my own body and what it is that I need to heal. And so I'm not the only one who is like this. This is something that blankets across the community for women of color,
Yeah.
constantly showing up for other people. We've done episodes where we've talked about pouring from our empty cups into other people and being depleted, and the effect and the impact that this has on us, and being the strong one. Like, we always
Right.
gotta be strong. We always gotta be resilient. You always gotta, why?
Why?
Why I gotta be strong? Why I gotta be resilient?
Right.
We had a conversation a couple of months ago where we were talking about when people pray for us, and we were like, don't pray us no more strength. Don't
No.
pray us no more
No.
resilience.
I'm
Because
good.
when you pray me more strength, you're praying or resilience. I'm still in the situation. I'm still carrying the burden. It is
Yeah.
still weighing on me. I am just finding more creative and innovative ways to carry the burden. The burden hasn't been released from me. So
Mm-hmm.
please, when you pray for me, please pray for me to be released from the pain, the sorrow. Pray for me to no longer be in the situation. But please don't pray me no more resilience.
No
I
more.
really no thought. I ain't got no more thoughts.
Mm-mm. No, listen, listen. I was sitting over here like, come on, talk. Come on, she about to go into the Thursday morning prayer call right now. Okay. Because no, you speak in facts. There's so much that I want to offer, but I'm going to abbreviate as much as I possibly can. A couple of weeks ago in the therapy session, my therapist told me, make sure that you're working on being happy, not just strong. And I kept replaying that in my head. Like, what does that mean exactly? And my therapist is a believer. And so I reached out to her and I said, what does that mean exactly? I need more understanding. I want to be able to not only ingest, but apply what you've said to me. But I don't understand what you mean. Can happiness and strength coexist or no? Like, right. So I asked for some clarity and she broke it down for me. And then she gave me a couple of scriptures. And the two scriptures that stood out to me the most, because y'all know I love the word. Okay, come on. With my Bible bays at. Okay, we love some scripture. Okay. But I was reading the scriptures she gave me, and the two that resonated the most was, and I don't recall where they are. I ain't a Bible scholar, I'm a Bible lover. Okay. But it talks about the race not being given to the swift nor the strong, but to the one that endures. And so my prayer is no longer strength. I don't want any strength. You can keep strength. I want endurance. That's it. If God is saying, listen, you ain't even going to make it to the finish line just because you fast or strong. You're going to make it because you've endured the race. That is enough. Clearly, if it's sufficient for the creator of heaven and earth and this universe that y'all all worship, okay, then it is sufficient for me. I don't want to be strong anymore. Give me endurance. Allow me wisdom to be able to pace myself in life. The world system has taught us that you got to race and get things done, that you got to run and get your degrees, that you got to run and get married. You have to hurry up and get all of this stuff done. Why? If tomorrow's not promised to none of us, me getting it 10 years ago versus 10 days ago, is it really going to matter? Because tomorrow's not promised to none of us. So if I achieve it today and spend no time with family and no time with myself, I've achieved it. But what? Like, so? And so
Just to
I have
say,
literally, huh? Go
I
ahead.
said just to say you did it.
just this. So the other scripture that she gave me to meditate on and to really focus on was I think it was in Matthew, because y'all know I'm studying Matthew right now, but it was a conversation where Christ was saying, you know, cast your cares upon me because I care for you. My, you know what I'm saying, yoke is easy, my burden is light. And how that was translated to me after going through my Bible dictionary, going through a couple of different versions of it, is like, God is not asking you to be strong. He's just asking you to believe. Like, just give it over and you're going to be good. And then the last one that I'll throw in there for free, okay, because I read this one on my own, doing my own study about strength. Paul was writing how it's in his weakness that God's strength is made perfect, which means God don't need your strength. It's his that we rely on. He don't need that. There's no contribution of strength coming from you. The scripture says the weakness. So y'all better show up in some weakness, okay? Because literally, that's what I read. If y'all, I don't know if y'all got a different version of the Bible, but the Bible that I read, Paul literally admitted, I just hand over my weakness, and then God's strength is made perfect. He ain't asking for none of my strength. God ain't borrowing none. It ain't no requirement to be strong. So we have to learn to abandon the way the world is telling us we need to live. The world is saying you got to be strong, you got to be fast, you got to get it done. None of that is what God requires of us. None of it. None of it. And so being able to adopt that way of thinking, I don't consider myself weak, but when I do have weak moments and I am falling to weakness, I'm okay with that. I'm no longer beating myself up like, oh man, I got to find strength from somewhere. I got to be strong to get through this. No, I don't. I don't need to borrow nowhere to get through this, because guess what? I'm no longer relying on my abilities anyway. Lean not on your own understanding. I don't want to do this myself. I don't want to figure it out myself. I don't want to get through this myself. I want to be able to say, God, listen, you said, cast my cares on you. Here they go. All of them. Take these children, take these bills, take this White House and its minions, take this wind that is crazy. Take it and you deal with it, because I don't have to. There's nowhere in scripture that God is asking us to be strong. And so let's abandon that. Like, let's abandon that abandon that language and abandon those mantras. Those are Christian myths. That's not biblical truth. Because every scripture that you see about strength, he's talking about God, not you. So I just feel that to say, transform your mind in the way you think about the requirement of strength. That's what the world has been telling you. That's what the systems have been telling you, that you got to be strong and you got to save everybody, that you got to fix everybody's problems, that you got to heal everybody, that you got to be there for everybody. Everybody got to lean on your shoulders. This is the last thing I'm going to say. And then I promise I'm done. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said to me, I used to pray and ask God not to take the burden away, but to strengthen my back to carry it. And he said, and that was the most destructive thing I've ever prayed. He said, then when I got to know God more, and how even as a Black man, God is not expecting me to be strong enough for every life event. He said he shifted his prayer from, God, you recognize when I'm weak and teach me to lean in on your strength. And he said that transformed his whole life. So he doesn't try to be the strong Black man in every situation. He's like, nah, if tears come, I'm going to allow myself to cry. If fear comes, I'm going to allow myself to be afraid. If uncertainty creeps in, I'm going to allow myself to ask for guidance. He was like, because that whole being strong was separating him from God. And so I just want to share that with y'all. For those of y'all who praying, Lord, give me strength, stop. Ask for something else.
That definitely, I cannot recall it ever being one of my prayers when I've had my conversations with God. Like, oh, just give me the strength. Like, they've been like, why are you making me go through this? But no. When you were speaking about the weakness, right? It made me think of, if you are a parent and you've ever had to assemble something around your little person and they done came in I recall one time trying to, I don't know, put something together, whatever. I'm very handy when it comes down to those things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
as a matter of fact, and no, don't everybody hit me up at one time, but I don't mind sitting down assembling some IKEA or Amazon furniture, like, or whatever, right? I look at the pictures, I got my pieces laid out, I can do it. It's kind of soothing.
So when you come into Atlanta, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I remember like trying to pick up something. And here came little baby Jade, right? And she's like, "I'm gonna help you, mommy," right? And here she come, like struggling, trying to pick it. And she over here straining to help me pick up this box, move this box, and it's doing absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, she's kind of in my way because now, besides the fact that she's trying to help, like get herself in there to lift this, help me lift this heavy box, this load, right? I'm now concerned that she will either A, physically hurt herself, like get a hernia trying to lift this box, or B, I might slip and drop the box and it fall on her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I'm about to testify because here we are, these little babies with these
Come,
large loads, these boxes.
come
And
on.
God is trying, and God got it. He can move it. It might take him some time, but he can move it, right? And here
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to pick up the one little corner, like, I go come help you too, right? And now we're in the workspace, right? Now our little bodies might be adding to the load, making it a little bit heavier. And we trying to make sure he don't like drop it on us and we get hurt at the same time.
That
So
part.
Tiffany and Epiphany, here we go. We in here trying to help God fix our problems when He asked us to help Him fix the problem. We just merely getting in the way.
That's come on. Cause I mean, if you're gonna speak the truth, then go ahead. Like just going to do. Okay.
And so get on out the way, right? Get on out the way, right? I put a post recently. I was like, these burdens were never. I'm giving it to God because these burdens were never mine to carry in the first place, right? He ain't never asked me to pick it up, right? Just because I'm here, I go showing up at the party, helping to set up the decorations and move shit around. Ain't nobody asked me to do it, right?
Right,
He,
right.
he, he just because I'm on the path of where the burden is doesn't mean it's my responsibility to pick it up. And Lord,
Exactly.
I pick up strays all the time.
Yep.
Come on, little chickens, come, little chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Like just meanwhile, I'm sitting here just trying to just trudge along myself, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, and then getting mad because I done picked up all this extra weight that ain't nobody asked me to pick up. So we gotta
That you don't have the capacity to carry.
right because it's not like when we gonna get into the math, right? We got educators in here, right? We learn about capacity, right? This is a 32-ounce tumbler, right? Hypothetically, I don't know. It's a 32-ounce tumbler, right? When
Mm-hmm.
33 ounces come in here, it don't grow another inch up to hold the 33. No, it starts spilling over. And so what
Yep.
ends up happening is, we keep taking on these burdens
Mm-hmm.
and then it's spilling over. And
Mm-hmm.
we're taking on more burdens into our capacity than we are grace and space for
Yep.
ourselves, you
And that's
know.
why we're not functioning the way we're supposed to because we have no capacity for anything else because we're too busy carrying everything. I remember when I first got into my relationship, I was so used to being a single mother. And y'all know those single mothers out there, we're making one trip from the car to the kitchen with them groceries. We are not doing multiple trips. We going if I got to break both arms and the neck carrying bags in the house, that's what I'm gonna do. And I remember one day, like I was coming in through the garage door. And if you know anything about my house, the garage door goes in through the laundry room. So I'm coming in and you just hear banging and clanking because I'm trying to get through with all the bags. And so I put the bags on the floor and my boyfriend looks at me and he goes, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Why did you bring all this in that? Why didn't you even tell me you were on the way? I could have met you outside in the driveway to bring the bags in for you." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I'm used to it." And he's like, just because you're used to something doesn't mean when the help comes, you have to keep doing what you're used to.
Hmm.
So I don't know who that's for,
Hmm.
but God sent us the help. Okay, y'all need to learn to stop trying to be strong because there is somebody
How
that
they
is
do it? Message.
to help you. Okay, and no, and seriously, because I really want to set us free from the self-imposed obligation to carry it all, to handle it all, to solve it all, to fix it all. We have paid our dues. We are done fixing and resolving and healing. We don't, it's our time to rest into your season of rest and no more rescue. And I'm telling you, it's the best feeling in the world when you're like, you know what? That's going to stay broke for a while because I don't have it in me.
Hmm.
It's not necessary for me to be the one to fix that. We don't have to run and fix it all. You ain't got to carry them bags by yourself no more. So that's the last thing I wanted to add to that.
Listen, that's a word and a place to land on. We could get ready to start wrapping up because we are approaching our 9 o'clock hour, and we got a couple of things to talk about that's happening. Something's happening this weekend in the diamond community, right?
Yes. Well, technically not the diamond community, but one of our diamonds who
Hmm.
is also a philanthropist and entrepreneur and talented singer and beautiful human being. She is hosting a gala this weekend. Her organization is called Emerge Woman, and they are honoring several deserving women, just recognizing them for their work and their sacrifice and their commitment to the healing and support of others. But the gala is a dual effort. Not only does she want to honor some of the recipients, but she's also going to be giving a huge donation to a orphan. I believe it's an orphanage, right? Is that what it is? An orphanage
I believe so.
in Haiti. And forgive me for not having the data right in front of me, but I am excited to be participating and receiving an award there this weekend. I fly out tomorrow to head down to no, not tomorrow, Friday, to head down to Florida to participate in the gala weekend and just support all that she's building. This is not new to her. This is something she's been doing selflessly for years. And so if you can, go ahead over to Emerge Woman on Instagram and sponsor a ticket, share the post. Every little bit of support can help her event and help her cause. So y'all make sure that y'all go over to like I said, she's on Instagram as Emerge Woman. And hold on, I think she has a second page as well. I'm about to get it to y'all.
I just shared a link, the lobby music. I just shared that, so hopefully that's gonna pop up in the chat soon.
Guys, also
Um,
share Give Thanks Inc. and Emerge Woman. They're both on Instagram as well. And those are the other organizations partnering in the event. So yeah,
yes,
y'all make sure
that's
y'all go
amazing.
support that. Yeah.
And yes, and then next week when we're back will be in April, which will be leading into our release.
I got the baby here. I got her. Hey,
Isn't
hey,
she
hey. Isn't she beautiful?
lovely?
Isn't
She
she
is so beautiful.
lovely? Isn't she lovely, y'all? She's so pretty. Look at that. Look at that. That's a read, honey. That's a
That's a
healthy
book.
read right there.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So book is releasing on April. I
29th.
don't have my calendar for me. You
29th.
said April 29th. On April 29th, the book is releasing. And then just a couple of days later, we'll be in here on the podcast. But then we also have the live book launch where you're going to have all of the authors on this year because it is so many authors. It is a two-part episode. So you need to
Yeah.
go and make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Go over to the YouTube page for the Hustle and Shine podcast
Yeah.
because you gotta hit the notification bell so you know when to come on and join us in the conversations and get to meet the new class of diamond writers and get
Yeah.
reintroduced to our
Legacy.
Our legacy diamond.
Our
Yeah.
legacy diamonds. Yes, yes. We are super excited about this publication. We're really proud of this work. And yes, we have a lot of diamonds. So we love the growth. We love the growth. We thank God for the growth. Well, listen, that's all we got tonight. Of course, you can join us tomorrow morning for prayer, an amazing time in the Lord. We are up early, giving God the first fruit of our day at 6 a.m. If you are interested in joining the call, all you have to do is go over to diamondwriters.com and you will see the link to access the call. We ask that if you can't make it, that you at least submit a prayer request. We would love to pray with you and for you. And then, of course, invite somebody or tell somebody that they should join if you're unable to make it, who you think may just need a little bit of encouragement. Because it's not just a time of prayer. There's also encouragement and testimony sharing and praise reports and just all the goodness happens on the call. So make sure if you're interested that you check that out. And that's all I have, Cuzzo.
Well, before we sign off for the night, you know what time it is.
Here's a gem.
All right, I will start us off. As we were discussing, a song popped in my head, and now I'm gonna have to go play it. Is Mary J. Blige's "Be Happy"? So I'm gonna have to go and put that on repeat for the rest of the night. But here is my gem for the night. Rest is a radical form of resistance, and it is time for you to sit your busy self down and just be you. That's it.
Amen. I love that. I love that. Um, all I want to offer is continue to be two. Whatever your TOO is, just continue to show up. Be too much for them. And if that offends them, if that bothers them, then that is too sad for them. But you continue to be yourself. And that's all we have tonight, right, Cuzzo? That's it. We good. We
That's
good.
it. That's it. That's it.
We'll be here next Wednesday, same time, same platform. And until then, y'all continue to hustle.
Hustle and shine.
Good night, folks. Oh, Mel's not here.
What? I got it. Wait, way to go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.